I've been a raw food chef for about 5 years, exactly the amount of time that I've been raw. And how that happened is I just decided that I wanted to go raw. I had been vegan for about 2 years before that, and then a vegetarian for another 5 years before that. So I was just ready to take another step in my health, and it was also really challenging for me, the idea of eating all raw fruits and vegetables. So I was like, I gotta try it. And as soon as I declared myself raw, I started getting gigs as a raw food chef, which for me at the time, I kind of had to go with it because I had just gotten fired from a job at a catering company, so I didn't have work. All I had was my raw foods, and I did want to learn how to make raw foods, so I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just provide this service and figure it out. And so that was 5 years ago, and it's pretty much history from there. Like, the process has been one of, at first, just trying to be healthier, but then getting more in touch with an experience of what it is to be healthy, and that it opened up an experience of fully kind of being in life and being with other people and getting more in touch with my community and caring about things more. And that's something that I didn't anticipate. But I see now that that very much is a part of being raw. You know, when you're eating that natural food, you just feel good and you want to share and connect with other people. Well, I'm so grateful for my experience as a child with food. I lived with my Vietnamese mother, and it was just me, her, and my twin sister for most of my childhood. And my mom brought such a reverence to the eating process. Like, we always had to wash our hands. Me and my twin sister, we would sit across from each other at the table, and we had these placemats, and I remember our mom would come over and she'd put a paper towel down, and she'd put the fork and the knife on either side, and then she'd put our food down, and we couldn't just dive into it. We had to wait, and then she'd bring over the milk, and then when everything was set up, we could start eating. And we had to finish all of our food. And she even encouraged us to lick the plates and the bowls, like just to really finish the food. And sometimes I felt like forced to eat food that I didn't want to eat. But most of the time I learned how to manage the food experience so that the food was very satisfying for me and enjoyable. Had she not brought that reverence, I wouldn't have taken that on. So I'm very grateful for that, and it's probably different from what a lot of kids experience when they were a child, but yeah, it was awesome, and it's definitely something that's added to who I am now about food, because I definitely bring a reverence. I like to say a prayer before eating. I usually finish all my food, although I don't really eat huge portions anymore. So yeah, like that. Being raw now, I realize that my whole life was sort of a transition to this point. I always loved being active when I was young. I got right away how food and my activity had to be balanced in a way. And that's something that I never let go of. And I've carried that with me my entire life, and it wasn't until I started pursuing diets like, plant-based and vegan and then going raw that I realized this is how you really balance your life experience with your diet and how you fuel that. So I wanted it since I was young, and I just didn't know how to put words to it until now. Healing is a natural process. Everybody has a body that is meant to heal. If you get a cut, immediately it starts to heal. That blood will start to dry, and the cut will start to close up, just that, even in that same day. So that's what I want people to understand about the human body, and how that translates, like when you really honor that process, how that translates into a life experience that honors the hardships and honors the challenges that you have in your life, and presents it as that's what there is to move through. I hope that wasn't too much of a leap from that. But so yeah, being a healer it's a natural life process, and really honoring what goes on with your body allows for the same in your life experience, and naturally through that you want to share that. So that's the community aspect of Permission to Heal. I wanted to provide an environment for people to get support, give support, get inspiration, share their stories, and just experience what it is all about, which is love. There is nothing more powerful or more healing than love. Yes. The book is called Permission to Heal, and it will be out on my birthday, January 29th of 2012. And it's sort of a radical, if you will, manual for living a conscious life. It is about healing, but it's not about cures. It's not about just getting rid of symptoms. It's about honoring that healing process, as I was talking about. I share a lot of my experience with healing and being a healer. And then there are also activities, and I ask questions to engage a kind of conversation that allows for support. And when people honor their own healing process, what we discover is that is intimately tied in with the healing of the planet and bringing things back into balance. So it's a way to enrich your life experience just through a simple conversation. That's what the book provides.